Good morning. I'm always happy to follow Congressman Bobby Scott, also a member of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. So, good morning. I'm always happy to follow Congressman Bobby Scott, also a member of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, so a believer in uniting communities. My name is Doua Thor, and I am the Executive Director for a national organization called the Southeast Asia Resource Action Center. Based in D.C., we're a national organization that was built out of the refugee resettlement area after the 1970s, supporting those from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, of about 2 million who live in the U.S. Currently, who have a former history as refugees. And for Asian Pacific Americans, people assume that high schools are perfect for us, that we do very well in high schools, that Asian Pacific Americans live under the model minority myth, the idea that we are achieving above and beyond, and that in fact many of our students have high SAT scores, are in Ivy League colleges. Contrary to the model minority myth, the Southeast Asian communities paints a very different picture for Asian Americans and education. Just as an example, many refugees, and especially those from Southeast Asia, arrived in the U.S. from rural farming backgrounds without having access to formal education. According to the 2000 census, over 56% of Hmong women aged 25 and over have no formal schooling whatsoever, compared with only 1.3% of the American female population overall. In areas like Lynn and Lowell, Massachusetts, though the data is not disaggregated, the population is mostly Cambodian. And if you look at the current dropout rates for that community, you'll find that for Asian Pacific Americans in those areas, they're much more similar to the Latino population, which happens to have the highest dropout rates for that area. American high schools should be accountable to all students. In a plan for success, communities of color define policy priorities for high school reform, the document that many of you should have. We prioritize the need to mandate public reporting of disaggregated racial and ethnic data, to further highlight subgroups of students who have been traditionally overlooked. We in addition call on the reauthorization of No Child Left Behind to include disaggregated data for racial and ethnic subgroups, which will highlight some of the real educational barriers for all students, including Asian Pacific Islander American students. And through this coalition, we will continue to work together to achieve these goals. As Asian Pacific American communities continue to expand and grow in this country, we continue to support and unite with other communities of color around high school reform. And next, I'd like to introduce Robin Butterfield, who is a board member of the National Indian Education Association.